has cleared the tower. Every 4 computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
There we go. There we go. Welcome. Today it is currently 84. Feels like 94. Partly cloudy with gusts from the northeast 5 miles an hour. Good morning. How is everybody? What's going on? Started a little early today. Why not? Go crazy. I'm going to keep making lame news radio jokes until everyone stops watching. Let's see. Let's get this out of the way. Let's move this out of the way. Traffic is good today. Except unless you're in a place where the traffic is not good, and then it's bad. But no, welcome everybody. Raphael, good morning. All right, so it is Wednesday. It is time for the weekly Wednesday stream. Yay! So today we're working on more hack slash, and also hopefully soon we will get started with the talent show again. But the problem right now is I've got too much stuff to work on, and so I've got to stream. I got to stream some pages. So, but no, we will pick up on the talent show stuff when we can. that's my promise. I won't forget about it. But no, good morning to all the Chris's, Davey, Jason, hello, Raphael, hello. Hope everybody is doing well. I'll kind of explain what's going on for anybody that is new here, although I don't know if anybody here is new. But inks on a transparent layer on top of everything else. So we got a layer of base colors with nothing in them yet. We have some flats from my flatter. And then these two layers, it's FG, BG. My flatter sets this up for me. They're just foreground, background, effectively. So if I really quickly want to, control click that layer, I can grab the background and then maybe grab a panel. And it's a real quick way to make selections. Anyway, if you want a full breakdown of how that works, I did a video not too long ago on how to color with Clip Studio. Check it out. Or buy a course in the description even. You missed the intro. Good morning. Yeah, you didn't miss anything good. I gave the usual weather report, traffic, latest sports scores, just the usual top of the hour stuff, and then the bottom is just the different panels. So let's get I'm gonna get the script here, even though I think I know what's happening. Always double check your script, kids. You never know. You never know when, like, the sky might turn pink in the script and you missed it because you didn't read it. This is page 5. Let's see. It is later. We are at the lake. I'm guessing it's still nighttime. Otherwise, it would say the next day. So we're later that night, I think. Yeah. And and they're just throwing the old body parts into the lake. The usual stuff you do. And who is that? I gotta figure out who this person is in the bottom, because it's not Cassie. Wait a second. Oh, I gotta email Tim. I think Tim is assuming that I know someone that I don't know. Tim is the writer and the artist. He penciled this. But let me just. I'm gonna email him. Be like, Tim, who is this? I don't think I have any reference for this person either. So but anyway, he'll message me back with whoever this is, and we'll go from there. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull in the pages from. Whoops, only got one page open. Can't do that. Let me get a second page open from the last from a few pages ago, and I'm just gonna drop the base colors on here, and then we'll recolor this to match this particular setting. I'll make that smaller. All right. Finally ready to actually do some coloring. But no, at this point, like I said, I'm just going in and changing all the base colors to something closer to what they should be. And it is nighttime here, so we'll make it dark. If you have questions at any point, feel free to ask, and I will try to think of interesting things to say. But yeah, this is Vlad, her sidekick, Vlad. He's like the muscle. I mean, she's not so bad either. And this guy, I guess, is the guy that we murdered in the last page. So, yeah, looks like the same guy. And I've got this the base color right now is like a real just real desaturated, just cool color. That way, I used to do it on 50% gray exactly, and then I realized that you can't increase the saturation on gray. And so I make it like 1% some color, and that way you can increase the saturation. I do actually have a real method question. Go ahead, Chris. I will try to answer. I did end up, let me show you guys real quick. I actually ended up going back in. Some of you guys watched, I know, the other pages. I want to show you real quick. I went in and added a little bit more detail on her costume. It's just a little bit of like sketchy, like mesh lines of the shirt she wears. I just kind of like wherever the highlight would be, I just drew a bunch of little X's. And when you zoom off of it, it kind of looks like one of those mesh shirts that she likes to wear. So I changed that, and then sorry, just a spot. And what else did I do? Just a little bit more colored details, I guess. I'll show you on this one. I tweaked it a little bit off screen too. I ended up adding just a little bit of this blue, as it's like it's coming from that shadow side a little bit, and that helped a lot. And there's also this little white rim light I put in there, and it looks great. It looked cool. It looked creepy to me. But other than that, those pages pretty much stayed pretty much the same. I'll leave this open because we're in the same. It's the same night. So anyway, that was a question somewhere. I'm drawing a character sketch for someone, and the character is described as having olive skin, and when he heroes out, he's described as having a soft golden glow from his skin. How would you portray that? A soft golden glow. I mean, does his skin actually, like, the it depends on what you're asking. It's like, does the surface turn gold, or does he just glow? Like, and does the skin surface glow, or does he glow from the inside? There's a lot of questions I would have to ask. But I guess, yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a little more information I guess I'd have to get. But a golden glow. I mean, what does it look like if you, let me just see. If I do that and then blur that, I don't know if it looks like glowing skin or just looks like, I don't know. I'd have to play around with it. But I would probably, you had to do something on top of the lines, I imagine. If I were drawing the script, I'd have to get more info. I would get more info as the colorist. You're drawing a character sketch. You're drawing as, I had to get more. I think I would have to get a little more info, probably, to see exactly what they mean. But I would probably portray, I mean, if I had to portray somebody's skin as glowing, I would, let me do it on her. I don't know why that's a different color. But like, if her skin, how would I do that? First, I would find a skin tone that is some kind of skin tone. Maybe put a layer on top of your inks, and I had to play around with the colors on this, and then like blur that. I got a button for that somewhere. I mean, you end up, I mean, I don't know if this looks cool. I'd probably, you end up with a little bit of glow around everywhere. I just, I put a layer on top of the inks and then blurred that. And then you could play around with like some soft highlights or something like this to make it look like it's a little bit more reflective, maybe, or something. I don't know. That's what I would, I mean, just based on what you're telling me, that's what I would probably do. I mean, but I don't know. LED76, hey, how's it going? Thank you for your membership. Fiery gold umbering, what does that mean? Aura engulfs his skin. Yeah, I mean, I would do something like that, I guess. And if it's fiery, maybe draw some little, little flames or something coming off of it. I mean, I don't know. That's an interesting one, because it means there's just a lot to figure out, like, is how I would take that. Or at least I would have a lot of questions to figure out. I'll give that a shot. Combination of glow, all skin was throwing me. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like one or the other. I think. I mean, you could claim all sorts of things, I guess, are happening, but yeah, I don't know. And I'm waiting to hear back from Tim to find out more about this character. I'm just kind of generically drawing whatever I can, but I would like to know who this is. It's probably somebody that I'm like supposed to know from a hack / book that I didn't color. Or either it's another character from a different universe. Totally possible in this book. I don't know why, but if I have a choice, my go-to for bathrooms is always like, I guess it's, what was it, the color of our bathroom? I guess it was blue and it was yellow, but yeah, I don't know. I tend to go with a lot of my bathrooms tend to be blue. I don't do that on purpose. It just seems right. Alrighty, and women's razors have to be pink. Do you guys know that? No, that they actually don't have to. But I am gonna make that one pink. What else? What else? She is dropping her phone in shock. What is happening in the script here? Page 5. Okay, she's just reacting to something that Cassie is telling her. Make it a very different color. Well, that didn't work at all. Sometimes I make selections and they just do something else. It's like, okay, whatever you say. Alrighty. Let's see if Tim's messaged me back yet. Not yet. He's usually pretty good about answering questions, though. So I'll probably hear from him before the end of the stream about who this is at the bottom. It might not even matter for the purposes, but I'm curious as to who it is. I've been working with a lot of glows. Learning curve. Yeah, definitely. I found that I can do glows, but a glow from something darker than the color of the glow has me weirded out. Yeah, that's kind of almost impossible to show the way that they're asking to show it. Like, either they have olive skin or their skin's glowing gold. I don't know how to do both. Considering the style I used on the drawing. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, good luck with that. Alrighty, and I think what I'm going to do with her in these two panels is select everything except her. We'll put like a shadow color on her. And then we'll paint that away, I think is what I'm going to do. I believe that I still have the link to this brush in the description. Yeah, it's in the description. If anybody's interested in it, it's a free brush from Ron Chan's Gumroad. I don't know if this is going to be the right. I'm just going to scribble some stuff in here real quick, see what this looks like. Doesn't look bad. Doesn't look like I want it to look. Let's get rid of that. Actually, let's not just yet. Let's select that. Anyway, so I'm going to do the opposite of what I said I was going to do. I'm going to paint this on the other way around, I think. Or do I not like that either? No, I don't really like that either. Let's get rid of that. I'll eventually figure out what I want to do with this. Yeah, I'm just going to start with a darker, warmer base color, and then we'll use like a cool color for the moonlight. Yeah, and this brush really makes me work turning the canvas and to get the tilt angle just right. I really like it. It feels like actually drawing. You make coloring look super easy. Well, thank you, I guess. I wish it was as easy as I made it look. Is this the same drawing? Yes, it is. So I'm going to wait until I get all the colors done on her, and I'm going to just copy them all to this one. That'll be much easier. She's wearing like a mesh shirt, and so that's why I'm adding these little highlights. Do. I'm just basically using a coloring with a gray here, because I don't really want this light to have a really strong color cast or anything. I just want it to be a little bit lighter. Alrighty, and now I'm going to take all of that, I'm going to copy it, paste it onto a new layer, and slide it over here. Where did it go? Don't get a chance to do that often. So when I can, I take advantage. But anyway, now I'll merge this back down, and so it's all on one layer. I'm going to change the color of the inks on the moon. Alrighty, and I think I'm going to shift that a little bit more toward blue, that highlight on her. And then I'll grab that color for Vlad here. Lovely, lovely. I usually do the backgrounds first, and I didn't on this one. I guess I knew what I was getting. I knew what I was planning on doing. But yeah, I'll do the background here in a second. I'm already starting with a little bit of like a warm base on this, so these blues really come out quite a bit. Even though they're really not that saturated. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Yeah, this page shouldn't take very long, so we'll be able to get right into something else here. I think I got a blue flame page to redo. Excuse me. The whole thing was redrawn, so I'm recoloring one of the other pages. I think that's in and ready for me. I haven't looked at my flatters folder yet, but probably is. Even sand is pretty reflective at night, so I'm drawing in a little light from the moon on that. I was reading some 2008 Marvel comics. One thing I realized is that they use a lot of bevel and emboss. That was early digital days when it was just like, what can we do? Like, you know, a lot of things were attempted. Not all with success. But yeah, I guess it doesn't surprise me. I'd be curious to go back and look through some of my early, not my stuff, but like the digital the comics I have that were early digital coloring. Would be interesting to see that. And this brush is just kind of a subtle textury brush. I'm putting in some texture in the background. It might be clouds or something or whatever. Just anything so that it's not just a flat color. Just gonna go grab that other color from the other panels. And see if we can't make old Vlad here look interesting. And because he's also just larger in this panel, we can do a little bit more detail on him. Great work. Thank you, King Da Vinci. Welcome. It's the same drawing again. I'm gonna I'll copy this one too. One less guy to color. I was just double checking it. I was checking to make sure that all these little sketchy lines were all identical, and if they were, I knew it was the same drawing. So anyway, all we have to do is add that arm to this one. Excuse me. Lovely. All right. Is all that on one layer? Yeah. We're going to select all that. Minus everything else around here. Is that the same? Well, it's the same arm over here. Let's go ahead and do the rest of that, and then I'll copy it over. That'll be easier. Instead of having to copy it, or do it all and then copy it twice. So we'll go ahead and do this hand 2. Do you find it easier to make the base darker and add light, or make the base brighter and add shadows? It just depends on the art, depends on the page, depends on the style. A lot of times I start like in this case, I'm starting with sort of a mid-tone. Excuse me. I'm starting with kind of a mid-tone that's about as dark as I want it to get, and then just adding light on top of it, just because of it's just moonlight. You know, it'd be different if this was under sunlight and there were harsh shadows or something, you know. And so it just depends on the lighting situation and the line art and the coloring style, and so I do a little bit of both. Thank you for doing these streams. CSV is my favorite app, especially for inking. Great to see you using it for coloring. Yeah, I've been using it for a while. Thank you for the super chat, the $5. I appreciate that. All right, so where was I? Let's select this panel, and all of that rendering is on one layer. So I'm going to Control C, Control V onto a new layer. T to transform and slide this over, and then we'll use the arrows to line it up. And, you know, we saved ourselves 5 minutes of work. Let's see, we'll merge that back down. I think I have, yeah, I've got a droplet brush. I'll kind of put some more blood on that knife. He's been very busy with that knife in this story. And I don't know where this is or who this is. Well, I know who it is, but... Oh, I know. Okay, I remember now. Give me a second. Tim just sent me some stuff. Okay, so she's a little more tan than Cassie is, which most people are, I think. Yeah, we can do that. All right. All right, and let's start with this background, I guess. Just using a soft brush for this. Don't want a bunch of texture on it. And then go ahead and do these flames. I'm going to change the color of the lines on those. And then inside, just going to get brighter and brighter toward the bottom. And this whole, we can make this kind of whole place, we can have it kind of all lit by the candlelight, or I don't know what we'll do with that yet. So candles don't throw light very far, so I'm not like gonna light the whole room from these things. I'm gonna treat them as if they're, well, that they're just right next to the wall, basically, and just lighting up those areas. Little small circular light shape about like that. And then we could also like show a little reflection in the wall. Light's probably, the wall's probably too bright already. Yeah, so I turned that down a little bit, and now we can see the wall a little bit better. trying to make these tiles look like tiles. Lovely, lovely. I'll be stepping into the clip world soon enough. Want to use it to keep work flowing on my iPad while my son goes hockey practice. Yeah, clip's awesome for that. And welcome to all the new viewers, by the way, that are coming in. I appreciate everybody hanging out. If you have questions at any point, feel free to ask. Alrighty. Where did I put that color? Oh, I put it on the base layer. Okay. I was like, I knew that didn't look right. Do you use CSP to color on your iPad? No, I haven't. I haven't hardly used it at all. I tried a little bit during the hurricane evacuation when I had to like work on some stuff there. Just really not happy with it. I didn't like not having the button on the pencil. I didn't have a keyboard with me. And I use so many keyboard shortcuts all the time. And I just got frustrated with it. I got frustrated not because of what it is. Like it's good. It's just relative to what I am used to, it was significantly slower. But that's not the fault of the app, because any app would be significantly slower than I am with the Cintiq and the keyboard and the button on the stylus and all that stuff. Like it's very, very different. So those bubbles were too bright. My bubbling wasn't showing up. But yeah, no, I think it's fine. It's probably good. It's the same app, so like, I think it's great. Um, I'm just not used to it. Um, and when I'm used to doing something at like a certain speed or like a certain something that has a certain ease to it, and then you take that away, it just feels worse than if you had never, as if you had never had it, And so that's what it is for me. Like it's just it's not as convenient, it's not as efficient, and most of that is because I'm very much used to working like this right now. But I did try. I gave it a shot. I ended up using Procreate and getting irritated with that too. uh, but yeah, I just ended up holding off. I ended up not really being able to get much done. Excuse me. House clip for lettering. Bubbles, balloons. Don't say bubbles in front of a letterer. It's kind of like, yeah, if you say bubbles to a letter, they actually turn into monsters and they'll attack. I don't know if you knew that or not, but just warning: you say bubbles in front of a letterer and they like, and then they come at you. I assume that's not true at all. I'm picking. I assume it's the same story with your Cintiq. You never use it too far away from your desktop. I can't use it away from my desktop. It's just a screen, you know. Like this is not a self-contained Cintiq. Like you have to have a desktop computer, so or a laptop computer or whatever. It has to be connected to a PC. So no, I don't get very far with that. Anyway, um, you can theoretically have a laptop nearby. Oh, I see what you're saying. No, I don't. I don't see a way to. It's a little too big for that. I think. So, um, I guess I need to put a pin in that one. Yeah, I don't know about lettering. I really don't know anything about it, to be honest. I mean, as far as the technical aspects of lettering, I don't know what they're doing. I have no idea. It has something to do with Illustrator. Almost exclusively, it's Illustrator, I think. Um, the art looks like it needs to be trimmed. Are you gonna? No, I don't. I'm not trimming any artwork. Um, whatever it needs. Once I'm done with it, someone else will make that happen. I barely made it to the cough button. Sorry, I sneezed. Um, let's see. What am I doing? I think I'm on the right layer now. What do I want to do here? Sometimes I'll like paint in the light that I want and then paint out the shadows in it if I want, like, especially on women's faces where it tends to be softer. The lighting tends to be softer anyway. I'm not really worrying about like pixel perfect lighting here. It's just kind of soft general lighting from everywhere. It's not I mean, it's generally from the top and near her, but that's about it. Does inking help you develop as an illustrator? Do you see it in your drawings? I don't really ink. I'm not a big inker personally. I mean, even my own stuff, I usually just go straight from like a pencil sketch to color. But yeah, it would definitely help you. If it's a skill you want to learn. It's just, it's not something that I've ever been just really excited about doing personally. Excuse me. Now on this panel, I think I want to shift the color of her reaction a little bit here. something like that. Do you have water running? Humidifier? I keep hearing it when I turn my head to draw. I lost connection there for a second. Is everybody, are we back? Or are we back? Mic static? Oh, yeah, I have no idea. Just went offline. Am I back now, though? Yeah, I saw that. I lost internet for a second, but I'm showing I'm sending everything at the moment. You guys still here? Am I talking to myself? Possibly. I am back now. Okay, good. All right. So this one's getting pretty close to being done. I want to warm up all the skin in these panels just a little bit. Actually, probably these two. I like using overlay layers for this. I'm going to darken this back arm a little bit so his face is framed a little bit better. I love the random arms just being throw on in the second panel. At some point I drew some stuff in this background and it disappeared. Didn't I? Oh, maybe I just had the layer off. Oh well. It still works. I'm just gonna try something here real quick on this last panel. I'm gonna tint all of this. Just a little bit. Just to get it away from the blue that was in these panels. It's a similar blue. This is soft light layer, which is similar to overlay, except it's at like half strength or something, I think. Alrighty. What else? What else? What are we doing? Hour and a half? Yeah, I need to stretch for a second. Pretty sure somebody signed me up for a bunch of political messages or something. I keep getting emails from crap. Thank you for your patronage, by the way, Dan, if you're watching. Somebody just signed up. I'm assuming you're watching. Maybe you're not, but appreciate it. It looked like you got really pissed about the humidifier question. No. I don't know. I wasn't mad about it. Sorry if I came across that way. I think this one's good. I can't color the last page of this on stream. There's a character that gets revealed that I can't show. So I'm going to see if I have another page ready instead. And I'm going to take a break. Did I change anything on this page? I don't think so. Oh, it looked like I got mad. How dare you ask about a slight buzz on my microphone? Click. Just disappear. No, that's funny. Yeah, I don't know. I actually lost it. I think I lost internet for a second. All right. Let's see if I have something to color. Something else to color. Ew, no, I don't. Get rid of that. That page is not ready yet. Those pages are not in yet. Have you ever thought about your future self? Oh, this is going to be deep. I don't know. Like, do you plan on doing this for the rest of your life, or do you ever think about retiring or doing something else instead? Just curious. I don't know. I mean, yeah, of course I'd love to retire one day. We're not really ready for that yet. I don't know if anyone in my generation will ever be able to retire. But I will probably evolve my career, hopefully. I would love to get to a point where I'm just like painting covers all the time or something, like, or maybe just doing videos. I don't know. Like, it's something I could do for a long time. So, you know. But no, that's a good question. But no retiring anytime soon, though. I'm trying to find anything at all that I've got ready to color, and I don't have any work ready at the moment. So I'm looking for. I know there is something that there is. I've had so many things flatted for coloring on stream, and now I just need to find them. That's what I've got to do. That one's not quite ready. So there's a commission that Rebecca Isaacs drew, Wolverine fighting Nazis. And it has some really small swastikas on it, and I'm a little concerned about. I mean, I don't care about the swastikas for the sake of the art, but I'm wondering if it'll send up some kind of flag to YouTube. I'm sure they have that one in the old algorithm. I might could cover them up or something. Maybe that'll be for another day because that one's not really ready to go. Yeah, I don't have anything else to color right now. So what do you guys want to talk about? Do you have any questions, comments, concerns? Do you want to talk about something else? What coloring work are you really proud of? Usually whatever the last thing I did was. That's what I'm most proud of. Right now, that is I'm really happy with the Blue Flame, how it's turning out. It's turning out really good. I did a cover, which I don't know if I have actually showed the final on stream, because I did not finish this on stream. It was like 90% done on stream. And then I ended up doing a bunch of tweaks afterward. But I'll show you real quick. I'm proud of this. This is a cover that I my first cover I drew and painted. I'm happy with how that turned out. It was originally going to be more purple on these guys, and I couldn't get the purple dark enough without it also getting really gray or like unprintable or whatever. And so I ended up shifting them more toward blue and with the yellow light, or the yellow-green light. I'm proud of that. And the talent show thing, I don't want to get started on that right now. I'd rather get going at the beginning of the stream on that. Looks awesome. Yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. I ended up I'll get close so you guys can see. I ended up finding a really cool smoky brush that did a good job of like not duplicating itself, which a lot of brushes do, and it changed based on the size and the tilt and the pressure and all that stuff. So I got a lot of really like cool smoky textures out of there, I thought. And then I ended up putting a little bit of that on the sword, that same kind of effect. This is one brush stroke right here, just to show you like how cool that brush was. If you search for like smoke brush on the asset store, you'll find it. But yeah, I'm super happy with how it turned out. For the last time, that's probably the most dramatic part of this. The last time you guys saw this, these were just lines, like, which was basically just directions, and it was previs for what was going to be there. So, so similar to some nebula brushes. Yeah, these kind of brushes float around all over the internet. They're all over the place. It did a better job than I would have trying to paint it all by hand. But yeah, anyway. But yeah, a lot of this stuff that I've done a lot of stuff lately. I can't really, I don't know if I can show this or not. I don't remember. Yeah, I'm realizing how much horror I'm doing at Vault. Just looking through all my covers, I'm like, so many of these covers are ooey gooey. Like this one. I think I did some of this on stream. I like how that one turned out. Book called Human Remains. I don't know if you guys are supposed to see that yet. Let's make that go away. No way Vault is not going to ask you for variant covers all the time. I hope so. That would be nice. I gotta charge more next time. Wasn't some titles supposed to be announced last week? Did that happen? Yeah, end after end. Have I been on stream since that happened? I guess I have. Thank you for keeping me straight, Jason, about what all is going on. This cover is for a book called End After End, which I'm excited about. Oh, I thought it would be interesting too to show you guys how different the original concept ended up being. So they originally told me, sorry, I'm trying to get this thing to size so you guys can see it. There we go. I mean, the principles are all there. Originally, these things were going to be red. The light was going to be red, and the power was changed to green at some point after the sketch. So, I mean, it's not a big deal. But the basic premise is enough to show Tim, the writer on this, I had to convince to let me do a cover, which didn't really take much convincing. But you know, the bones of it were there, so it kind of ended up pretty close to where it was. I ended up twisting her body more and more and more to make it look like it's actually in an action pose. And there's really not, I don't know if I really can't show anything else from this right now, though. You may have seen some of the stuff on Twitter if you follow me on Twitter. Let me see if I can find. There's some other covers have come out. I didn't color these, but some other. You guys can at least see what it looks like. But anyway, but yeah, End After End. Really, really cool story so far. I've only read the first issue, I think. But what I've seen so far seems very cool. Did you do a video on how to make a cover? I'm struggling about how to go about making a cover. Bunch of cover images for End After End online. Yeah, there are. There are several. Liana Kangas, I don't know how you say her last name. She also is doing variant covers. I don't think mine has been announced yet, but there we go. These are some of Liana's covers for it. Two of the main characters. This guy is like a combination of like, I don't know what you would call him. He's a funny character though. He's my favorite character in the story for sure. At least so far. Any other questions? Or anything else you guys want to... Oh, you guys asked about covers. How to make a video on a cover. Like, I'll give you my just general advice for just any decent drawing, like whatever it is. I never use all of these things. I'm just gonna use a regular one. Let's see. Let me just do it from this. There we go. So like whatever your cover is, start really, really small. Okay. And whatever it is that you want to do, get some basic shapes that tell that story. You know what I mean? Like if you have something that, and it depends on what your cover is, but whatever it is, like figure out some sort of shape dynamics, figure out some kind of composition that just looks interesting at this size, you know, and something that looks like it's gonna come forward and be interesting like at this size. And if it works at this size, then come up a little bit more, you know, make it a little bit bigger and start detailing it. But what a lot of beginners try to do is like, okay, here's my cover, and here's my guy, and he's looking cool, raw, and it's like, okay, now what? Not the way to go about doing this, because it's like, where is he? What's the environment? Is he meant to look heroic? Is he meant to look weak? Is it, you know, it's like there's a lot to learn about composition and perspective and all that kind of stuff that you have to know. But it's like whatever it is, you know, if you're doing, you know, a house, like, well, don't just draw a house, like, you know, find a composition that works around the house, like support the house, you know what I mean? Have a little road that leads to the house, but it's like the whole thing should support your central focus, you know what I mean? You know, these areas would be a lot less detailed than like these areas if that's what you're doing. You know, but you can take it'd probably be easier to look at some actual good covers and break those down. Let me pull up a few here real quick. Let's see. Chris Somney is one of the best that there is. And so like with this, you have this like kind of like triangle-ish kind of shape, or like pillar kind of shape through here, but like this creates a shape, and then like this all creates a shape. I don't know why I'm using these horrible colors, but like these big shapes are what allow this to be read from farther away on the shelf, you know. But find some kind of way to make something that works very simply in a thumbnail and build it from there. You know what I mean? See if I can find some other... there's just a lot of random... Let me look at... And even looking at like what famous comic book covers, what does that show us? I guess they're not necessarily... Oh, these are like old covers, which are cool. It's like with this, it's got a really simple, like overall, like there's just a lot of red. We've got the big, you know, Spidey in the back, and then we've got the Peter in the front looking small and weak and everything compared to what's going on here, you know? All of this is very simple so that this can be complicated. Or not complicated, but more complex. You know, think in big, chunky terms like that with whatever it is you're doing. That's the place to start. It's like with this cover. It started with literally a drawing of me going, there's going to be a person here, and they got a sword, and it looks cool, and it's going to, like, throw a bunch of light around here. Like, that was the extent of like my sketch. But that very quick, readable shape design is what made it work at the early stages and what kept it working all the way through. You know, I basically have this, you know, kind of figure here winding up, and then the entire, you know, the entire rest of the image all kind of spirals into that center. You know what I mean? So, like, it's a really simple design. I mean, from a design composition standpoint, it can't get much simpler than that. You know, that would be my advice. If that doesn't make sense, let me know. Have you seen the covers for the human target that Tom King posted on Twitter? Nope, but we'll look at them. He posts a lot. What was the name of that book? The Human Target. Let me search for his name and target and see what happens. Oh, I have seen some of these. Yeah, I have, because they're awesome. Let's see. The first one that popped up. Greg Smallwood, is that the artist on this? I don't actually know who's drawing this, but like on this one, notice where if you split this thing right here, there's like almost nothing in this part of the cover except his legs, you know. But by having this space be simple, we've got space for something else to draw our attention. Like, the problem, again, a lot of beginners is like, hey, let's cover, let's just put stuff everywhere. And, like, you know, it all weakens. I mean, this literally has a target, so it's that one's pretty easy. But there are areas of this that frame this guy, again, there's nothing going on here except this spiral, you know. So they framed him up really simply with that spiral, kept everything else away from that area so that it doesn't, you know, it doesn't affect the focal point. And then everything else is just really, really simple. So we got the place for the, you know, for the title there. But his original sketch for this, you know, was probably, okay, so there's going to be a guy standing here. He's going to look cool. We're going to have all these things reaching out at him. Like, this works. Like, this works small, it works big, it works whatever. Like, because it's very simple and very iconic. You know what I mean? That to me make the best kind of covers, are the ones that are very simple and easy to read. And what else is in here? This book looks great. Well, I don't know much about it, but it looks awesome. But yeah, I'll definitely check that out. When you speak Spanish, it sounds good. Really? Are you sure? I don't know even how to say that last sentence. I'm gonna translate that real quick. No, my Spanish is I don't know if it's any good or not. It's pretty bad. Don't stop practicing. No what is that? No dejes? Is that dejes? De practicar? Is that word? Trying to learn. From Argentina, always learning with you. Thank you, German. I appreciate that. Greg Smallwood doing covers too. Cool. Start at basic shapes, have a good understanding of composition. Yeah, that's the place to start. And and I mentioned this at the end of, it's toward the end of the last video I put out. If you guys haven't watched it, please go watch it. I put a lot of time into it. But if you haven't, um, there's a section toward the end of that where I explain this, and it could probably be its own video. But if this is your drawing, there's an example that I used there where this composition has a really bright sky, has kind of a mid-tone like this at the bottom of it, and then there's like a monster character that's like right here. And that's basically the composition. So once you've got, and you can do this in your composition early on, like with your values early on, is go ahead and figure your values out in your sketch early, you know? And what that does is it gives you an opportunity to narrow your choices as far as narrow your color choices. It's like in the example I give in that video, just because I've got an area of light value in a drawing doesn't necessarily mean that obviously everything I put back there is going to be that color, but it needs to be closer to that color than everything else if it's going to still maintain this shape. You know what I mean? And so like if I get a little bit lighter with a different color here, these things still feel like they're in the background because they're back here close value wise to what the sky is. And when you get into your midtones, you know, you're picking colors that are supporting that value, you know. So I'm kind of going all around the wheel here, picking a bunch of different colors that are all you know, pretty close to this mid-tone color. It doesn't mean that you can't throw in something a little bit darker or a little bit lighter or whatever, but overall it should still feel like a mid-tone when I zoom out, you know. And by having this plan ahead of time, I know that the second that I drop a color in here that doesn't belong, it should be pretty obvious, you know. And it's just like this dark shape. Like I'm gonna do, you know, colors in this shape that are still, you know, that are dark colors that make that shape work, you know. And it still feels like a dark shape on top of a medium tone below a light tone, like, you know. And so by getting those values in early, it really does a good it makes your job a lot easier, having to try to figure out what the rest of the colors are, because you have a plan. I know that seems very elementary to some, but but it makes a big difference. So anyway, any other questions? I got a few more minutes before I wrap it up for today. Appreciate everybody coming by. Could I ask what dimensions you use for a comic color or for a page in Photoshop? I'm just starting out. I can never figure it out. Thanks a bunch. Yeah, like there are all sorts of templates around. If you search for like here, I'll just link this in the chat. This is it's a printer that I know, Kablam. And actually, I think this is for, yeah, this is actually the trimmed size, so you could actually go bigger than that. But no, I'll bring in a page here from what have I got? That's, yeah, I can show this. But as far as just like, I mean, my regular pages and covers, a lot of them end up being about the same size. But this particular project for Vault is 4125 by 6263. This one's at 600 DPI, which is pretty high. You could get that down to 300 or 400 if you wanted to. But yeah, that's what this one is. Yeah, but these are effectively cut to print size at 600 DPI. 6.67 by 10.43 inches, or 17.46 or 26.51 centimeters. But yeah, there's all sorts. You can search for just comic book size template. You'll find stuff on this. But yeah, if you do have questions about color choices and contrasts and values and how this stuff, like, please watch that last video. That video is meant to answer a lot of questions. I kind of designed it that way so that just about anything you can ask, I could almost point to sections of that video, but or try to anyway. But yeah, hopefully that helps. Any other questions, comments, concerns? I don't see much else, but thank you very much, guys, for watching. I guess I'll go ahead and wrap this up. Check the links in the description, please, if you want to help support this channel. Patreon, buy a course, YouTube memberships, whatever. If you want to have access to all of my old streams, because a lot of people ask about this, I don't keep them public. They mess up the analytics too much. But if you are a channel member, the YouTube stream archive is up to 134 streams. And I don't know, is there a way to calculate the length of that? YouTube playlist length calculator. Surely. There it is. Here's the numbers on the playlist you get access to if you join as a member. It's 134 videos averaging 2 hours and 20 minutes long. The total length of the playlist is 13 days, 2 hours, 37 minutes, and 45 seconds. So it would take you 2 weeks to watch them all back to back. There's lots of content there for $5 a month if you want to go through and listen to me ramble on old streams. That is a possibility for you. I think I lost my stream, my chat. Am I live? What's going on? Oh, thank you for your membership, Cunning. I appreciate that. Make sure to watch it at 1.25 speed. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, cut it down a couple days. But thank you for your membership. Thank you again to everybody that watches. I had a good time today. I hope you guys learned something, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.